Hey everybody, it is time once again for the weekly Rahdo Recap, which means I'm going to do three things for you. I am going to tell you about all the videos that went up on my channel this week. I'm going to tell you about videos that went up on other people's channels that I think are the bee's knees. And I'm going to tell you about new games I have discovered and that I have subscribed to and that I have added to my wish list because they sound very, very cool. Right, okay. As always, we're going to start out with the exclusives for people who support the show financially, either here on YouTube as members. There's links for that down below, the join button and all that, or over at patreon.com. You can hit that eye up in the top right corner of the screen to learn more. And my big video was this right here. I did a full playthrough of Silicon Valley. This is the aftermath. Did I win? Did I lose? How did my startup fare? Well, I had a lot of fun filming it, and it is available right now for supporters of the show. Thank you so much for keeping Rahdo running. And as always, folks, in addition to whatever new exclusive videos, there's early access to videos as well. If you back, and what do we got here on the Rahdo Residents list? All right. Merchants of Magic's The Dangerous Business expansion. Got a run through of that. It'll be coming up publicly for everybody very soon, but you could be watching it right now. And also Escape Room Tycoon. Alex came over and we taught me how to play the game, and then we played this big epic thing that says, what would happen if Vita Lasarda designed an escape room business simulation? It's not from Vita Lasarda, but it is very cool. It's actually designed by real world escape room business folks. And I was very impressed by it. You'll be seeing it later in the week, but again, if you support the show, you could be watching it right now. Okay, so that's what we've got for exclusives, but now, what does everybody get to see? It was a good week, folks, starting with Ezra and Nehemiah. I did a preview for this thing, and it is the latest from Garphill Games. It talks about the rebuilding of Jerusalem back in Old Testament times, but it's really, for the most part, focusing on this very, very cool hand management system where you've got a handful of followers that can activate different powers, and once they're in play, they stay in play for several rounds and can combine their abilities with subsequent cards you play. But eventually, they have to get cycled out and replaced with different followers, and inevitably, some of them you will end up removing from your deck and turning them into permanent in-game scoring. Like all the recent games from Garphill and designers Shem Phillips and Sam McDonald, it's a big, complex beast with a lot of moving parts driven by really beautiful core, simple gameplay, and Jen and I enjoyed it quite a bit, and you can go check that out right now. By the way, folks, there is a playlist for all the videos I am talking about down in the show notes below, as well as direct links, and if you just hang out to the end, at the end of the video, right over there on the screen, there will be a link that just takes you to every video I'm talking about, both mine and the other channels. Okay, so what else do we cover on the channel? We have got a preview for Boundless Stride into the Denlands. Kimberly did this, and what I really found fascinating about this game is the way that your little anthropomorphized woodland defenders are traveling around the world in kind of an analog way. There is no grid. There is no hexes that you move from. Instead, they stride around by using special movement tokens. So there's this really kind of wonderful analog feel to it that sets it apart from a lot of other games, and Kimberly does a fantastic job of showing how it works. Boundless Stride into the Denland. You can watch that right now. Shay returned to some piracy in the Caribbean's cooperative style with his coverage of the expansion. Davy Jones Locker, Curse of the Ghost Ships. Now, this was already a very popular, successful Kickstarter, and it's got a new one with an expansion. And again, this is a real rarity. Pirates working together instead of trying to screw each other over, doing all the normal piracy stuff you expect, but also dealing with big, epic, supernatural threats. The original game, they were coming together to fight the Kraken. Now they're fighting a fleet of ghost ships. Really, really cool. Everybody loved the first one. You can check out what the expansion brings with Shay's preview. Oh, and then Ruel did a run-through for Neotopia, a new beautiful, abstract, or quasi-abstract, building the city of the future game with very, very cool Kenichiya-style scoring mechanisms. And I think for, for abstract fans, this is going to get a lot of people very, very happy. It's a fun game. This might be one of my wife, Jen's, favorite games of the year. She loved it so much, and Ruel puts it in motion for you. And then, we also got together for another R&R show with the guys from Legendary Tactics, and we did a list of games that we would replace Catan with. And I am so proud of this video because even though we didn't work on this, and we all came up with our own answers individually, between the 6 of us, we identified 6 different elements of Catan that you might like, and then suggested games that really leverage those elements and take things in new directions. I think it was a great, fun video to watch. It was fun to put together. And, folks, you've got a few more days to win PAX Unplugged tickets. If you watch the video and listen for the secret word, you can enter a contest and win tickets to PAX Unplugged, one of the best board game conventions of the year. And you've only got a couple days left. So, links down in the show notes, like I said before, folks. What else? Oh, one more thing. My latest Q&A, where I hit big topics. And I talked a lot about, what makes a good roll and write, what games should be turned into roll and writes. I dug deep into ranking the 4X's of the 4X thing, which was a lot of fun. I did this with my wife, Jen, who joined me in the Q&A. And probably the biggest topic is I spent, 20, 30 minutes talking about, AI art in board games. How is it going to affect the industry? How does it affect artists? How is it a harbinger for what is going to happen for humanity as a whole? I went very deep, very passionately about it. I have a lot to say, and I just feel like I've scratched the surface. So that's all in the Rahdo Q&A episode 11. Okay, folks. So that's what you've got from us, right? No. Do we have one more thing? Nope, we don't. That was it for me. So now I'm going to move on to other channels. I already just gave a sneak peek of Board Game Design Lab. Did a very long 90-minute video interview with Jeff Engelstein, a scholar of board game design, and a successful designer in his own right. And as a former designer myself, this was fascinating. Now, I'll admit it might be a little dry for folks who aren't interested in the art of board game design, but if, like me, you like to think about how do these games work, what are strengths, what are weaknesses, loss aversion, gambling, all kinds of elements, this is such a deep dive, and it was absolutely fascinating. Again, maybe you have to want to be a designer yourself. And if you do, can I suggest the channel Board Game Design Lab and this new interview with Jeff Engelstein. They went so deep, so much fun. Okay, now, that was a very long video. Now let's go for a 30-second video. The Rats of Wistar by Craniomagnetic Wheel Upgrade from Andrew Platt. I just stumbled across this while I was reading the forums, and I love this. Andrew Platt, this is his second video, where he's talking about modifying games to use magnets to make things snap together. We've seen this in a couple of major games. I think Coloma was really the first big game to come up with the idea of, hey, put stuff together with magnets. It's awesome. So much better than all those little things we've got. And, Merchants of the Dark Road did it too. But Andrew is showing how with a little bit of work, and just getting you can get these magnets super cheap, you can really increase the quality of your games. Andrew, I love this. I think it's amazing. I loved your one you did for Gollum as well. And I hope to see you do it more. I hope to see you actually do a follow-up where you talk about how did you actually cut out the spaces for him? Did you use an X-Acto knife, a hole punch? What? Anyway, it's a silly little 30-minute video, but it really tickled my fancy and, got me thinking about stuff too. Okay, next up, we have got, Bronislav Barak of Nithrania is a how-to-play YouTube channel, and he tends to cover the heaviest of the heavy Euro games, and he always does such an amazing job. And he put up a video this week for Kutnahora, and there are a lot of people making amazing how to play videos, but Roslav is honestly, he's probably my second favorite in the entire industry. There's something about his presentation style that just speaks to me. I absolutely love it. And Kutnahora is one of my most anticipated games for the rest of the year. I'm dying to play it. I'm so jealous for folks who went to Essen Spiel and got to pick it up. I got to get my hands on it. But in the meantime, I feel like I'm ready for it now because Bronislav does such a phenomenal job. One of the things I really like about his approach is it's all about the game. He's not not doing all that constant, hey, cut back to me, watch me talk for a while. Nope, I'm just here to tell you the game in perfect granular detail with, all the little chapter breaks so it's easy to find all the different sections. Again, he just speaks to me. I often get nothing out of how to plays, but never him. If he's got one for a game I'm about to play, then I'm excited because he's made my life so much better. I just wanted to give him a shout out. And again, if you want to get excited about Kunt Nahora, if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet, check out Game in a Nutshell from Nithrania, and links down in the show notes. Okay, next up, oh man, this one's a bit far out. This is Board Game Bollocks, and he did a preview for The Last Kingdom, which is a game that Shay did coverage for on our channel earlier this year, and he actually did a playthrough with John D. Clare, the designer. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I have to admit, I'd kind of forgotten about it since then, but I'll admit, first of all, I should warn you, folks, if you've never heard of Board Game Bollocks, the channel, and you're about to go check this out, please understand, it is not safe for works. This guy, he's a British, no-nonsense, foul-mouthed geezer who just, holds no holes barred. He just really rips into things, and, again, he is very foul-mouthed. So it might not be for everybody, but honestly, I just love watching him because, I lived in England for 8 years and worked with guys like him. Some of my favorite coworkers of my entire life were guys like him. So to me, it's just fun to listen to. But what really struck me about this one is he's calling, Last Kingdom, the board game, his potential game of the year. And that's saying something because he usually spends more time ripping things apart than praising them. And again, Last Kingdom, I thought, was a very, very cool game. And it seemed to kind of slip under the radar for reasons I'm not quite sure why. It deserves more attention. And so I really enjoyed watching his video of it. And if, like me, you enjoy some salty language from a very thick accent, British accent, and let me also add, maybe the most grumpy man in all of board gaming, although I'm sure that's just an act. If it just warms the cockles of your heart like it does me, then check out Board Game Bollocks with his Last Kingdom, the review. Is it the game of the year? Well, he'll try to convince you why. Okay, one more. What was it? Oh, right, yes. Shelf clutter. Adam over here, I gotta say, this guy is amazing. He does a series every week of upcoming games on his channel, and he does deep dives, kind of like what I do here, and what plenty of other channels do too. But I don't think there is a single channel out there that dives as deep into the actual gameplay of upcoming games as Adam does on Shelf Clutter. Even though he has often done nothing more than just read the rules, when he's giving you a quick, 30-second to 2-minute summary of some upcoming game, he's not just saying, oh, the art's really great and here's what the mechanisms are and whatnot. He somehow, in an incredibly tight time frame, gives you an incredibly solid foundational understanding of what this game feels like to play, what makes it special. He must do so much research. I cannot even imagine, especially considering the amount of content he puts out. And I am always blown away. So he's done his weekly. I figured I'd mention it. I mean, he's talking about the new the cooperative expansion for Marvel Dice Thrones, Witcher Paths of Destiny, Holly House. Adam, one thing I should say, Adam is also really, really great about putting in timestamps so you can just jump around to all the stuff very easily, because you can see he talks about a lot of stuff, contest giveaways, all kinds of things. Great channel and so informative. Adam, you'll notice, hey, it's not working. I've been noticing this more and more on YouTube. Adam, in case you see this and you find that, yeah, my chapters aren't appearing in the scrub bar, all you need to do, I found this myself, is go edit and just change from 10:11 to 10:10. Just change the timestamp of any one of these things, save it, and that will kick YouTube in gear, and then you'll find the chapters working again, because they're not working right now, and you did all the work to put all those timestamps in. So just wanted to also shout out to Adam in case he sees this. Hey, that's how you can fix that. And of course, anybody else who does videos too. Okay, folks, so that was some fun stuff. I've just pushed the wrong button. I need to come back over here. Phew! Well, okay, folks, I've only got 2 new games to talk about this week. It was kind of a slow week, I guess, to make up for the super big over half a dozen games last week, and I am still excited about these. Let me tell you about them. First of all, oh man, folks, this is a big deal, I think. World Order. Now, this is from the same folks who brought us Hegemony, which was a brilliant asymmetrical Euro-style game where each player represented a different faction within the class struggle of a given nation. You were either, the capitalist class or the working class or the middle class or the actual government itself. And it was a brilliant fusion of Euro-style, fun, solid gameplay, but also real-world academic theory about the interplay of all these things. And it was amazing. Well, the folks who did that are back with a new game. In World Order, we're not just focusing on the internal politics of one country. Each player is a country on the world stage. And unlike Hegemony, which was very abstract, it never really said where we were or anything, this is set in our modern real world. You could take the reins of China or the United States or a European nation or, somewhere in the Middle East, and you could make choices that will change the world. And it's doing the same thing that Hegemony did, where they say it here, mixing thrilling gameplay with academic theory. And I love that. A diplomatic power, economic strength, military might, everything comes into play, which is why I'm very, very interested when we start to learn more for the 2024 game, World Order. And then the other game that really caught my fancy, a smaller thing, it's Ticket to Ride Paris. Now, in case you don't know, Ticket to Ride, well, it's been around forever, and it's always, 45 to hour-long game, but the last few Ticket to Rides have been express micro games where you can play the entire Ticket to Ride experience in just about 10 or 15 minutes, and I love it. It is hard to go back to regular Ticket to Ride. New York was great. We loved the London one, the second one, so much we kept it. And I mean, that's pretty rare for us to keep a lightweight gateway game, but it was just so good. The third one, I want to say was Amsterdam. I don't remember that, or haven't played that one. But now the fourth one, Paris. Each one of these introduces new gameplay elements to the Ticket to Ride formula. This one talks about special red, white, and blue cards that play a special role. It doesn't say anything yet. I'm just throwing it out there, folks. It's coming next year. Another Ticket to Ride. I imagine by the time this comes out, I will have finished Ticket to Ride Legacy, and I'll be ready to go back to some quick, snappy Ticket to Ride, thanks, and this might fit the bill. And that's what I've got for you, folks. And we are Dunsville. There it is, right there. The playlist, you can go watch everything. You've learned about those games down in the show notes. And now I got to get cleaning up, folks, because this game is done. And this is what I got to do next. Second edition Kalimala, Ian O'Toole art, revamped expansion gameplay. I am excited. And there's no rest for the weary. I got to get to work.